All right, guys, welcome to the Health and Wellness Summit. My name is Courtney Miracle. I am your host, and today I have Andrea Escobar. I didn't ask you, is it Andrea or Andrea?
Andrea, thank you for
Oh, I said it wrong. I should have asked that. I'm Andrea. Andrea, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so hi everyone. I am Andrea Escobar and I am a spiritual medium and psychic here in Colorado. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey that brought me here. So when I was 7, my parents they were in the middle of a nasty separation, and I saw something in my mind of my dad with another woman. And a month later, what I saw actually came true. And when I brought it up to him, he was like, this is how you create problems and lies. So I was shamed for seeing something, and I'm 7. So in my very child mind, I'm like, okay, this is not allowed. And I pushed that down completely. Looking back, I can see that there was definitely connection trying to come through again, but I was so closed off that it wasn't allowed in. And then on the other end, my mom, who's highly intuitive, she also has her own shadow with gifts. Like she was the type of person when I was in high school would say, you can't go to this party. I'm like, why? I just have a bad feeling. And then I would hear about the cops raiding it after. And I'm like, how did she know that? Like little things like that.
Yeah.
But when I would ask her more of like, mom, spirit guides and stuff like that, she was more closed off to that. When I went to college, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And that was really hard for me because I felt like the doctors were giving me an answer for everything I didn't like about myself. So it was kind of an excuse to say, okay, cool, I don't have to own all of this. But then on the flip side, I'm like, but I don't resonate with this story that you're saying that I'm crazy and broken. Like, I see now, like, oh, I'm not just doing all this it's because of this, but I don't identify with what you're saying. And when I was in high school, I saw a beautiful mind, and I had gone to my therapist at the time, and I'm like, I need to prove to people that they're not crazy. And she's like, you need to go back to school and maybe think about going and studying this. So when I was in college, that was where I was going. I was studying psychology and psychiatry to work with that. And we have my cat joining in. And when I was in that process, my dad and I had a fallout. So it brought up all of my repressed childhood stuff from their separation. And as we know, childhood, everything comes from that 1 to 7 kind of age range. And on top of that, my guidance counselor, they were basically like, hey, you're really smart, we like your idea, but you're not good at biology and chemistry. You need that to go pre-med. So I'm like, cool, I moved to Florida to have a relationship with my dad. That's not going to school for this, and they're telling me I can't do this. And everything was just getting taken off. And I'm a freshman in college, and I had been going to therapy for the past 4 years, and I didn't have the tools anymore. So I started to self-medicate like a lot of kids do in college. And I'm going to call it a blessing. Not everyone does. But the diagnosis of bipolar got really bad. I started to hallucinate and hear things. If that wouldn't have happened, though, I wouldn't have gone down the road where I'm at now.
Right.
6 years ago, I started working with an alternative medicine doctor and psychiatrist, and I realized that I'm not crazy and that the stigma around mental health isn't what I kind of resonate with. And as I was able to let go of the stigma and realize that a lot of it is a disconnect between mind, body, and spirit more than a chemical imbalance, I was able to let go of everything that was keeping me down, and my gifts started to awaken again. And, life kind of led me here. So that's where I am right now. And one of the reasons why I love what I do so much is we all, even if you've suffered from small trauma to big trauma, we've all had some sort of mental health struggle. We're humans. Like, like from someone saying you're fat to the person over there telling you that you're four eyes because you work, like we've all heard something like that. And we don't think that those comments affect us, but they really do. And one of my main things is kind of giving that power back and reclaiming that and realizing that you are an incredible being and everything's happening to help you reclaim those lost parts of yourself.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I know for my own journey, I had this awakening that everything was happening for me in perfect timing, and all of the things that had happened were for a reason. And like once you believe that, when something goes awry, you're like, okay, I don't understand why this is happening, but I know and I believe and I trust that it is. And what do I get to learn and grow from this? So I love that. So I know you have some really, really incredible tools that you want to teach us. So talk to us a little bit about when we spoke before, we were talking about mind, body, spirit connection. So can you share that with the audience and what that really means before we get into some of the tools?
Definitely. So, what I realized in my own journey, and even with friends, even before I got into my work, just kind of like I've always going back to psychology. I've always been intrigued by human behavior. I'm like, why is it that two sisters that had the same upbringing, same parents, one likes this, and like I've just always been intrigued by that. And one thing that I realize is we hear so much about the mind, body, spirit connection, but we leave out the soul. And for me, the soul, it's what's literally merging that spiritual and that physical world together. So when we're talking about the mind, we're talking about that intellectual part that we all live in. Hello.
Yeah.
We're all kind of thinking about our to-do list, and you can be talking to someone and someone's telling you about their vacation, and then your mind wonders, oh, I wonder if I would ever go somewhere. And then you start thinking about, could I afford that? And you're not even present anymore listening to your friend tell you about the vacation. You're off elsewhere. So that's very much the mind aspect. For me, the body, we are, the way that I view, we are spirit beings in a physical world. So our body's that vessel that allows us to be present here. And then our spirits, our connection to God, divine, the universe, whatever entity resonates with you. And when we're able to harmonize all three, then you're actually able to hear the soul speak. And when you can hear the soul speak, that's when, and we were talking about this, Courtney, that's when these little breadcrumbs that you're kind of noticing, you're like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to take this yoga class, and then I'm going to meet someone here, and that's going to take me to where I'm going. So that, for me, that's why I'm so passionate about the connection. And when we're able to harmonize that, we're able to actually feel centered, and we're acting out from us. We're not looking for other people, and we're not like grasping for other people to give us the answers. I know we've all done that. When you're younger, you go, Mom, what do you think I should do? Like, right? Your kids, I'm sure they do that. But you, at your age, you're not going to go, Mom, what do you think I should do? Should I send her to school or not? Like, that's a decision I'm hoping that you make with your husband, and you're
I still
not.
ask my mom questions, but yeah.
Right? Like you're asking her for advice, but you're not like, tell me what I need to do today. Like, full on, tell me. And one reason why I'm so passionate about that was when I was still on medication. I was 20 years old, and I remember my therapist asking me, what do you want in life? And I'm like, I don't know. And I was like, can I ask my mom? She's like, what does your mom have to do with everything? I'm like, I truly don't know what I want. I'm so used to everyone telling me what to do it. And she realized that the moment that I got diagnosed, I had been having doctors tell me what to do, that I had no idea what to do. Literally just to watch a TV show. Can I watch this? Is it too stimulating? Oh, it's too stimulating. Maybe watch something else. So I literally was outsourcing everything. And I see that so much in the mental health community. You're constantly outsourcing to your therapist, your coach, and everything. And it's like, what do you want? What do you want?
And so many people don't have that answer. I mean, at 20, at 40, at 60, like what do you want? What makes you happy? We ask our clients all the time, just like, well, what makes you happy? And the astounding number that go, I don't know. I'm like, you can't think of anything that makes you happy? Like that's a way bigger, like, that's such a big thing. But we look for that external thing to bring us internal joy. And when, like you said, when you can take that power you've always had and learn how to tap into it, everything opens up. So yeah, I love that. I love that. So when you were going through your journey, and obviously you're super disconnected and you were realizing that you were outsourcing all of your power, what did it take for you to start to understand how to like be in your body and even what your power was?
Yeah, definitely. That's such a great question. So going back to, if I'm talking to you, and or even just to make it something simpler, we all have things that we're used to doing. And as humans, we love to take the path of least resistance. So the way that I like to say this, and if you're in Colorado, we're in a place where hiking trails are big, this is going to make more sense. But if I'm like, hey, I want you to go to the top of the summit, you're like, okay, and you start going on the trail, I'm like, but I don't want you to take the trail. I want you to make your own path. It's not going to take you the 2 hours that it took everyone else. It's going to take you a lot longer. And you're going to have to kind of go back and keep going. And you're going to do this a lot. The reality is, this isn't what we're taught to do. We're taught to do, result now. So this going back and forth, because you're not getting that result right away. You're not getting to the summit when everyone else is in that. Everyone's posting their pictures and you're like, I'm not there yet. FOMO. When you're getting caught up in that, that shows you are so disconnected from yourself because you're paying attention to what everyone else is doing. You're not focused on your own journey to the summit. Put your phone away and focus on your own journey. So if you catch yourself, and I was sharing this with Courtney because I fell into this literally a couple of weeks ago. If you catch yourself that you're constantly focusing on other people's stuff, you're not living in your body. You're not in the present. You're getting distracted with everything else that's safer. So somewhere in your childhood or in your life, you learned that it was safer to focus on your externals than to stay quiet and with it. So this is kind of like anytime you, and we talk about this so much, it's meditation, meditate, mindfulness. Okay, if you can't stay still for 5 minutes, you're not going to meditate. And this isn't me trying to like say you're never going to meditate. This is just me telling you, you're fighting a wall right now. It's going to be hard. So for me, part of that process is getting comfortable with being in your body and then getting into that meditation place. And when you're able to get quiet, you're able to realize where your disconnects are. Because if I'm talking to you all of a sudden and you start telling me a story and it makes me feel uncomfortable, and then instead of dealing with that uncomfortableness, we get off the phone and then I grab my phone and I go on social media and I browse Instagram and I'm just looking for something to take away that uncomfortable, yucky feeling. If I can't sit with that, then I'm not going to be able to take some time to constantly bring myself back to the present moment, which is what meditation is. We always hear meditation, quiet your mind. Your mind's not going to quiet. Do you know how many thoughts you have a day? For how long you've had those thoughts? Like you can't just, you might be able to do that with like a newborn and be like, all right, you don't have a cassette and I'm going to stick this cassette in. But when you're 30, 40, 50, you've had a cassette going for 30 years. You can't just erase that in a day. So it is a practice of bringing yourself back to yourself, not of quieting the mind, not of judging yourself because you're thinking about the shopping to-do list. We all have that. I'm sure, Courtney, that when you're meditating, you're like, ooh, I have to go. And it's going back to taking a deep breath and not getting carried with the shopping list. And if you do get carried with the shopping list, having love and compassion and bringing yourself to the moment. So for me, when you're able to practice being present in your body, you're able to get closer into that meditation space. You're able to listen to your soul more. You're able to actually see everything plan out. But if you're not allowing yourself that stillness, then that disconnect's going to be there, and you can try to meditate, you can try breath work, and you can work out, and you can do all of these things. It's not going to do anything. Like I had someone, I want to say like 7 years ago, they were like, I don't listen to music when I work out. I'm like, I would go crazy. I can't do that. And they're like, you're trying to distract yourself. And when they said that, it was like, oh my God, you're right. I am not enjoying what I'm doing. I'm trying to distract myself from what I'm doing. Now, I will say that when I do yoga, when I am active, I don't listen to music because I do want to be in my body. I want to feel what my body is feeling. I want to experience the tremble of, oh my God, because it reminds me that I am alive and I am here.
Yeah. When I used to be a long distance runner, and same thing, like it was always music, and literally I was trying not to hear myself breathe, which now I'm a breathwork facilitator. Like your breath is the most beautiful gift. But it was like, if I heard it, then I would create this story that I couldn't keep going because I was breathing too hard. Right. But once you actually can tap into that and be like, no, my breath is amazing. Look what it's letting me do. But I've been both sides of that, right? Where you're just like, I gotta disconnect. I gotta go find other ways. So for somebody who is brand new to this, tell us a little bit about your strategies to get into your body when you're in a place where, like, maybe you're not ready to meditate yet, it's not working, or you're just not in a scenario where that's even an option, but you do have those uncomfortable feelings.
Yeah. So I'm gonna share something that happened with me. So when I first moved to Colorado, I don't drink. If you do, that's awesome. I just personally don't. And I'm very mindful if I'm ever going to meet someone at a brewery or bar, because this isn't about making it about me. And now, why aren't you drinking? Drink your beer, drink whatever you're drinking. We're here to connect. And I met up with some coworkers for happy hour. I was really excited about the tacos. And this guy's like, starts pushing the drinking thing. And he's pushing it enough that it starts to really bother me. Yeah. And I start to feel my wrist, my fist getting into clench. I'm not going to hit him or anything, but that's just my automatic way of like, okay, I'm not comfortable. So I went to the bathroom, and this is what I did. So this is really awesome because you can do it anywhere. You can teach your kids to do it. Courtney and I were literally just talking about that. They can do it in school. Like, it's something that you can literally do anywhere. In your car, it takes 5 minutes. So there's a lot of, right now, people are talking about EFT, emotional freedom technique. It's tapping. And essentially it's you're connecting with certain acupuncture energy points in your body, and you're reinforcing the limiting belief that you have, and then bringing in a positive one. That's amazing. It works great. Love it. But what I've realized is if you're activated from something that someone said, something in your body, and a lot of the times for me, it tends to be my root chakra, because I feel like I'm not safe, and my heart. And those are the first two that get closed off. And you can see it in my face as I start going like this, and I start going like this. And I'm like I'm trying to make myself small and not seen. So when I wanted to start working with the energy centers, I realized you can actually tap to activate and clear them. So to start off, we're actually going to do something that I really, really like, is to let go of any energy or anything that you have that you're holding on to that isn't yours. And Courtney's actually going to join us, which is a lot of fun. So I call it brushing your dirt off, just like the song. But we're literally going to brush off whatever it is that you have. So I had mentioned to Courtney that for me, what's popping up today has been imposter. Courtney, do you want to share something that's popping up for you that you're brushing off?
What am I brushing off? Yeah, just for me, I'm making some big shifts in like where I'm going in life. And so like brushing off the old stories or the old version of who I thought I was going to be is a lot of what I'm moving through right now.
Okay. So and this is me channeling something right now, what they're saying is you're letting go of the old picture you have, and you're welcoming in a new one.
Yep. 100%.
So I'm going to actually lead it like if we were. So I'm going to have you close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Oh. And I want you to actually imagine yourself literally brushing off that old skin. It's almost like you're taking it off of you. It's coming off of your body.
You want me to brush?
No longer, yeah, it's no
Okay.
longer with you. You're saying bye, you're saying thank you. And it's really, really letting it go. And then I want you to now grab your hands and you're gonna welcome the new Courtney, that new version of Courtney. We're gonna tap. So get crazy, get fun, tap all over, and tap in that new version of yourself. And then kind of feel, and you should feel the energy. I'm tingling a little bit. I don't know if you're tingling. That's letting you know the energy is awake and alive and moving. And now we're gonna get into the tapping. So we have 7 chakras. We have the root,
okay,
which is located kind of by where our hips are. And obviously you can't really tap internally. So we're gonna tap right where your hip bones connect. I want you to tap here. It should be a little sensitive. So you're gonna tap there for the root. So we're gonna start off with the sacral is right below the belly button. So tap right there. Now I'm actually gonna stand up to make it easier for you.
I'll stay seated, but you can stand.
And then we have right here the solar, which is the sacral, right by the sacrum, the heart chakra. So for the heart, oops, just dumped water, whatever. What we're gonna wanna do is your collarbones are right here. There's like a space that connects. So I want you to tap in that sensitive area. We're gonna tap on the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And we're gonna do 3 rounds.
Okay.
Why 3? 7, 3, 21. And that's the number that Spirit gave me. So kind of give you guys that back end. If you feel particularly activated and you're just like, oh my God, I can't, then I would recommend that you do a 1 round.
Yes.
Breathe in, let it go, and try it again until it's less, you're feeling less triggered. So we're gonna go ahead and start. And since we're using Courtney as an example, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I feel safe allowing the old me to leave. I feel safe in allowing the old me to leave. I feel safe.
Should I be okay, sorry.
Old me to me. And you can repeat it internally or you can repeat it out loud. But yeah, Courtney, I would want you to tap on your hips. We're gonna move on to right here, right here. And then our crown to close it off. And work back to the root. I feel safe allowing the old me to leave, and I welcome the new me. Safe allowing the old me to leave and welcoming the new me. I feel safe allowing the old me to leave and welcoming the new me. I feel safe allowing the old me to leave and welcoming the new. I feel so safe allowing the old me to leave and welcoming the new. I feel so safe allowing the old me to leave and welcoming the new. I feel so safe allowing the old me to leave and welcoming the new. And then I welcome myself into the space. I welcome whatever blessings into the space. I welcome whatever opportunities into the space. Moving back up. I feel safe stepping into this new version of myself. I feel safe stepping into this new version of myself. I feel safe stepping into this new version of myself. And then I want you to take a deep breath in, hold it, and let it out. And see how you feel.
That felt good. That was awesome. So good. So good.
Ah, so glad.
Oh, I love that. And I think it's so simple, right? For people that don't really feel like they have the tools, especially for people that are, whether you're new on your journey or farther along, I feel like like I'm all like in the middle of my journey. And I think it's just we were talking about this before, but as a parent, something that I think can be so powerful to teach kids to get connected. Randomly we've been watching this Netflix show and there's a lot of like self-harm in it. And part of it is the education, but like you see it in these teenagers and having daughters. I'm like, what can we do as parents to connect to ourselves and connect to them and give them tools? Because the stuff's going to come up, right? And there's going to be things they don't understand. And as adults too, right? Like we numb and we look for external things because we don't know how to create that safety. So I love that because you can feel their body and you can feel your energy. It just creates this sense of safety. And in a world right now it's been in a pandemic for a year, like there's so much fear and lack of safety. I think this is so cool. So will you share how people can get in touch with you? I know you've got an event coming up. Can you give us a little bit of info on that as well?
So I do readings, one-on-one readings virtually and in person, only in Colorado. You're in Colorado for the in-person. And you can find me over at andreaelogreda.com. It's the same Instagram handle. And I had mentioned to Courtney that I am planning actually 2 events. So the first one is sold out already, which is super exciting. And it's happening April 16th, 17th, and 18th. And then I had such great feedback from that I decided to create kind of a bigger version. And I'm partnering up with a company in Steamboats, which is really exciting. It's going to be
That's my happy place.
I think you might know which place because they do wellness retreats there. But
Okay.
we're doing a really big wellness retreat there with them. And it's really awesome because we're using the beautiful magic of cannabis to connect in with our sacred woman magic. For me, and this is something I was mentioning to Courtney, I felt like I was lacking the community. And I kept like trying to put myself in a community, like, let me just try this one. And nothing truly resonated. So I decided, I'm like, why not create my own? And I really wanted to create a space where women could go and explore deeper and connect deeper with themselves, with plant medicine, if it's something that they want to explore with. We're going to have infused meals to connect you in with your senses. We're going to have embodied movement. So we're going to have this woman come in and teach us Tantra dance to really connect in with that sacred woman energy. And it's really a place to celebrate your sacred feminine and tap in with that energy and build a community around you that you can feel connected to, especially in this time. That's something I've realized. I'm very careful with how I say this, but my grandpa has dementia and he started to decline when COVID happened because he was isolated. They took him out of his nursing home to, not make it worse. And now he's back and he stopped talking and he was just not as much there. And I realized that, well, yeah, you need to stay safe. We are communal beings. We need community.
Connection. Yeah.
Like it's we can go without chocolate. We can go out without a lot of, nice things, but connection, it's something that we truly need. And while I think what's going on virtually is beautiful, I really wanted to create a space where women felt free to explore their wild essence. So that's going to be in August, and you can find out more information on my website. And I'm always on Instagram doing weekly guidance, channeling sessions. So definitely pop in there and see what's going on.
Oh, this is so good. We could talk for hours, but thank you. And we will
Well,
talk.
you and I probably would.
Talking is not a problem for me. Well, thank you so much for that. I feel amazing. I appreciate that. So you guys watching, hopefully got an amazing benefit. If you have questions, please reach out. And if you're in Denver, I see lots of actual in-person things happening for us. So thanks for being with us. And Andrea, it was so great to meet you. We'll chat soon.
Really nice meeting you. Bye, Courtney.
Bye.